All right. Minute or two late today. I apologize for that. But I was working on something and I kind of just lost track of time. Good to see everybody. Good morning, or good afternoon, good midday. Whatever's going on where you're at. Hope everybody is well. Happy Wednesday. Sorry I'm a couple minutes late. Actually, I was responding to an email. Maybe the most condescending email I've ever gotten in my life. What's up, Brian? Yeah, I know. I'm late. I know. Maybe that's why numbers aren't good. What's up, Tim? How are you? Hope everybody is well. Hey, Omar. Hi, Mike. Good morning, Karen. How are you? Lucy, Diana, is on the couch sleeping. Disinterested. What's up, Daniel? What's up, Corey? Andre, morning, Ron. I'm afraid Sanders 2020 will never happen. What an interesting morning greeting. Morning, Sanders 2020, not gonna happen. You want some coffee? Yeah, shit. What's up, M Topper? What's up, Hobo? What's up, Frederick? What's up, Zero Divisor? Sorry I'm a couple minutes late. I was going through some stuff and kind of lost track of time. We're already at 28. That's good. What's up, Matthew? Boom! Joseph said it. We're at 30. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Get Your News On with Ron, the world's first viewer-curated streaming news show. I'm Ron Placone, your host. It is Wednesday, hump day. We're talking. We're hanging out. Guys, our year is almost coming to the end. Because I think, I guess I'll announce it now. I was looking at the calendar, because the holidays are coming up. We'll probably break for the holidays. It looks like our last Get Your News On with Ron live. Clips will be coming out all year. But the last Get Your News On with Ron live will be on Christmas Eve, December 24th. Because that's a Monday, and I didn't want to miss out on one last Music Monday for the year. So we will have one last Music Monday. We'll probably talk about holiday tunes. Why not? But yeah, so we're going to have tomorrow and Monday, and then we're going to go on break for the year. It's crazy. I can't believe this year went so freaking fast. And this is our first year as a show. We're still new. We're still a baby. We're still in diapers. Because we're almost one. Now, I'm not totally sure if 1-year-olds wear diapers. They do, right? You wear diapers till you're about 18 months. Right? I mean, I'm seriously not positive on. I don't have kids. So I don't freaking 18 months, right? Can someone validate this? Now I'm nervous. Pull-ups? So when do you start pull-ups? Huh. Steve, I'm sorry to hear you're sick. I'm sorry to hear that. Hey, Platypus, thank you so much for the Super Chat contribution. Fa la 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 la. Peace, my friends. Indeed. All right, so anyway, you guys get it. Here's what I want to talk about for the topic today. I couldn't help. So someone sent me this. I believe Tim sent this in as a story he wanted to talk about. And we're going to talk about it, and then it's going to lead into my question for today. So, a NASA engineer did this. This former NASA engineer just spent 6 months designing the glitter bomb of nightmares. Mark Rober used to work at NASA and helped design the Curiosity rover, but he left that job to pursue a higher calling, glitter bombing people who steal packages from his front porch. And while you're at it, get off his lawn. So Rober's now a YouTube star. I got to get some tips from him. See, it turns out all I had to do to really reach star level status, make a bunch of glitter bombs, which I don't know how to do. So anyway, this guy was getting frustrated that delivery packages were getting stolen from his front porch, so he came up with a way to deter the people who were doing it. Over a painstaking 6 months of development, he figured out a way to douse the would-be robbers in glitter and fart spray and capture the whole thing on camera. He was inspired by the movie Home Alone and filled out a fake shipping label on the package, similar to Macaulay Culkin's character Kevin McAllister. So I guess what he did was he left his package on the porch, like he left that fake package on the porch, and really it's not a fake package at all. It's a glitter bomb, so if a thief takes it, they're going to be subject to a glitter bomb. Man, that is something. And there's some fart spray too, which makes it really a double whammy. Now here's my question for the day. So I get the package theft is a theme, and it's something that we all deal with the holiday season. But most thieves, so what I'm assuming he does here, I'm assuming he leaves it on the stoop, and it's in front of any other packages he may receive. So if somebody tries to take a package, they get the fart glitter bomb. I get that. But here's my question, and this is just honest curiosity. If you're leaving a package out all the time, aren't you more likely to attract thieves in the first place that you may not have gotten otherwise? I get it, people steal packages, that sucks. But I feel like in most cases, people that want to steal stuff, like usually criminals of that kind of persuasion, people that are just looking to do petty theft and stuff like that, they're usually not the most, like they're not looking to do a lot of work. They're not looking to do much. They want something easy and quick. That's why if you leave something out of value that's visible in your car, you're more likely to, you're more susceptible to theft. If you leave your car doors unlocked, you're more susceptible to theft. So it's one of those things, if you leave a package out all the time, aren't you going to be more likely to have somebody try to take that? Like, why, like for me, neither me or my fiance have a typical 9 to 5. So we get, whenever packages get delivered here, chances are it's not going to be out for a super long time because both of us keep kind of weirder hours. So we're more likely to kind of be not necessarily in and out all the time because we will be, but we're more likely to just sort of, I don't think that the package will stay out a super long time is what I'm saying. But if you're leaving a package out 24/7, it's almost like you're more likely, like it almost becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Am I off? Does that make sense? And Joseph brings that up. Joseph says, maybe, but what if the package arrives when you aren't home? Yeah, I know. I understand. Like, that happens. But what I'm saying is it's a matter of time. Like, let's say there's a thief walking around the neighborhood going, I want to steal some packages. And they notice that one house always has a package out. Always has a package out. And they're like, that place always has a package out. So they go and they steal a package. Maybe they notice there's a couple packages there and they're able to take all of them. One of those packages is the fart glitter bomb. But the other handful of packages are actual presents. And they never would have came to that door in the first place if they hadn't noticed the fart glitter bomb that was there 24/7. They noticed the fart glitter bomb on Monday. On Wednesday, they robbed the place. There happened to be a bunch of real presents sitting out there on Wednesday. You know what I mean? Like it's like it almost is a self-fulfilling prophecy by leaving a fart glitter bomb out 24/7. I'm just saying I wouldn't do it. Like, because that would be my thing. I'd be like, well, they're going to notice this package 24/7. So if they're looking to be a thief, then they're more likely to come to my place. So Would you guys use the fart glitter bombs? Brian Jeffries, NSA dude's neighbor. Yeah, that package has been sitting out there for like a week. I'll just put it on their porch. Dear God, why? I think you have to like legit open it. You know what I mean? Like you have to like actually open it. I'm pretty sure. Maybe word will get around and they will stop hitting that house. Degrees in Defiance says. Word will get around. I don't know, man. I mean, I have no idea if thieves have like a network. Like they're just like, hey, just so you know, fart glitter bomb house is 321 Main Street. Don't do it. That's where fart glitter lives. You might get a fart glitter bomb if you rob them. I don't know. I just thought it was kind of funny, but and then I thought, well, but dude, if you're keeping something on your thing, like aren't you more likely? Omar says, gotta make it a habit to bring packages in right away. Can't even leave a bike in front of your door for 5 minutes without it being stolen. That sucks if your bike got stolen. I'm really sorry to hear that, and I get you. It's just sometimes that's hard. I mean, sometimes people are at work when packages get delivered, and you know. Sometimes you can't help it. So Anthony adds to this. He said he had stuff stolen from him, and he also gave it to his neighbor who had stuff stolen from them as well. So he's more solving the problem than trying to create a self-fulfilling prophecy. Understandable. Yeah, I get it. Like, he was dealing with theft in the first place. Now, did he pass around the fart glitter bombs to the entire neighborhood? Did everybody get a fart glitter bomb and be like, please leave this out? Because then you're going to be doing something effective. If it's like the whole neighborhood loaded with fart glitter bombs, a thief would just be like, I'm going to a different neighborhood because I've gotten 4 fart glitter bombs this week. I smell like farts and I'm covered in glitter. Everybody's going to know who I am too. You see somebody walking around, you're like, they smell bad, they have glitter on their face. I bet this is our thief. So I get it. I mean, I see both sides of it. I'm just saying, if it was me and I was just one dude, I don't know if I'd do that as a precautionary measure. Because I'd be like, well, I'm going to they're going to see this all the time. You know what I mean? You're more if you're a thief, you're more likely to go to a place where you're seeing stuff out there all the time. So I don't know. Celeste says, ask a neighbor to watch out. Man, I gotta be honest. I don't know any of my neighbors, and that's kind of a reflection of our time. I feel like if you ever read the book Bowling Alone by Robert Putnam, it's a really cool read. I recommend it, and it talks about how we kind of have just lost our sense of community in so many ways, and we don't really connect with our neighborhood anymore. In fact, you know what? Let me do this before I move on to other things. I want to ask one more question. Who here knows their neighbors? And when I say know your neighbor, I don't mean like you know their name, you say hello. I mean like you know your neighbor. You guys do stuff sometimes on the reg. You know a little bit about them. Maybe you know where they work. You trust them to bring in a package for you. How many of you can say you have that kind of relationship with your neighbors? I'm curious. I hope a lot of you do. Frederick does. Project Redfoot says my neighbor sucks. I guess Pat Hacker does. Omar, no one talks here. Maybe one neighbor. Everyone else is scared of each other. Tim, anywhere my wife and I move, the first thing we do is introduce ourselves to our neighbors. They come over. We help them with stuff. Good for you. I don't think that's super common anymore, Tim, and good for you to keep that kind of thing alive. MS, my neighbors are assholes. Sorry to hear that. I mean, I say hi to everybody. Everyone seems very nice. I just don't really know anybody. Pearl Center knows their neighbors. Long Beach, 20 years, and we have only spoken passing. So it looks like we're about 50-50. That's actually better than I thought, to be honest. Slow news day, they know their neighbors. Mike S., my neighbor runs inside every time he sees me. Corey, nope, and I live in a fairly large city. Well, I feel like you're less likely to know your neighbors in a large city. Like, if I had to say, like, where are you more likely to know your neighbors? I feel like in a smaller town, you're more likely to connect because I just feel like it's just more exciting to connect with like-minded people when you're in a small town. Like, when I lived in Bloomington, Indiana, when I went to college and then a little bit after college, people, like, you know, I did stuff at the community radio station, and that was like a place where you would meet a lot of the more, you know, kind of free-thinking, hippie, lefty people that lived in the neighborhood. And people were a little more outgoing. Like, they were like, hey, where do you, you know, what's your deal? How long you been in town? Because it's just more exciting when you meet like-minded people when you don't live in as big of a place. You know what I mean? My neighbor threatens to call the cops every time I start up my bike. Why? That's weird. Slow news day. Bloomington's community radio had the sweetest Sunday bluegrass show. You know what? As of the last time I was there, which is going back over 10 years now, but as of over 10 years ago, it was still a thing. David says, I want to order a fart glitter bomb from Amazon, but I'm worried the package will get stolen. Ha! Love it. Hi, Marcia. How are you? All right, let's move on. So that's pretty cool, actually. I'm pleasantly surprised that about half of you have a good relation and a good close relationship with your neighbors, and about half don't. I feel like that's better than normal. Like, I feel like the average would be maybe about 30% of people, maybe, actually know their neighbors. It's just not as common a thing anymore. Watson, thank you for your Super Chat contribution. Package thieves follow the delivery truck from depot. Okay. I don't know if that's true or not. I wouldn't know. I'm sure some do. I'd imagine some don't. Cool. Watson, you're scaring me. Why are you such an expert on how thieves work? All right. Let's move on to other things. Here's something from Jeremy Corbyn. Now, Joseph shares this, and Joseph said that Jeremy Corbyn was making some good points. He was having a good discussion, and then all the Tories were looking to do was trying to twist something that he said. So here's how Jeremy Corbyn had to respond to that. Jeremy Corbyn denies stupid woman jibe at Theresa May. So what happened was, Jeremy Corbyn was talking, he was making some points, and they are accusing him of making a stupid woman comment, which he's saying he didn't do. He said stupid people, and it wasn't referring to her specifically. It was just a broad statement. So here we go. Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn has denied calling Theresa May a stupid woman during Prime Minister's questions after facing calls to apologize. He told MPs he had said stupid people and that he was opposed to the use of sexist and misogynist language in any form. Common Speaker John Bercow said he had not seen the alleged incidents and all MPs had to be taken at their word. But Tory MPs said they didn't believe him and he must apologize. Mr. Corbyn told the Commons, during Prime Minister's question time today, I referred to those who I believe were seeking to turn a debate about the national crisis facing our country into a pantomime as stupid people. Mr. Speaker, I did not use the word stupid woman about the Prime Minister or anyone else, and am completely opposed to the use of sexist or misogynist language in absolutely any form at all. I'm happy to place that on the record at your request this afternoon. Tory MP Rachel McLean responded to his statement by saying, read my lips, I don't believe him. And you can put that on the record, I guess. Mr. Bercow was separately accused by Tory MP Vicky Ford of calling her a stupid woman on an earlier occasion, something immediately denied by Mr. Bercow. The Speaker said he had reviewed the television footage of Mr. Corbyn's alleged insult, and it was easy to see why the leader of the opposition's words might be construed as stupid woman. So it sounds like that's not what he said then. He either said it or he didn't. Like, why is this He either said those words or he didn't say those words. If he's saying what he said, then he didn't call anyone a stupid woman. So how is it? Well, it's easy to see how that might be misconstrued. How? Did he say stupid woman or didn't he? If he didn't, then how is it misconstrued? It sounds like that's not what he said based on that statement. I watched the footage. It's easy to see how that could be misconstrued. Because if he just straight up said it, wouldn't they say, I watched the footage and yeah, he said that. Right? All right. He had also consulted a lip speaker who are employed to interpret lip movements. Why would you need a lip reader for something like that? It sounds like this is just political theater, guys. Sounds like this is just political theater. Sounds like Jeremy Corbyn was making some points that the Tories didn't have a good response to. So they're leaning on something like this to try to detract attention from what's really going on. And what's really going on is Theresa May is facing no confidence procedures. She's not doing well as an MP. MPs in similar situations to her have resigned in the past. And Brexit's a pretty big deal. So they're trying to distract us. That's what it sounds like to me. And we have some net neutrality news, and this is not pretty news. David shares this. The Trump administration just killed net neutrality for text messages. The Trump administration just made it a lot easier for big wireless providers like Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile to interfere with texting, all in the name of protecting consumers from spam, according to Democrats and digital rights groups. Have you ever signed up to receive text blasts from an activist campaign or your doctor's office or anything like that? Well, the FCC voted along party lines on Wednesday to classify text messaging as a Title I information service rather than a Title II telecommunications service under federal law. This is actually groundbreaking. Okay, here's why this is so significant. So Title II is what we consider phone calls. They have to be treated like flowing water. There can be no interference or prejudice involved. If I call my neighbor, which, you know, as we talked, I don't know my neighbors, but if I call my friend or I call the White House, it's just treated as a phone call. It's just treated like flowing water. That's what Title II does. Title I is something like an information service. Title II is a common carrier. We designated the internet as a Title II. We said it's so commonplace in our life, it needs to be treated like flowing water. The flow of information on the internet is like flowing water. It needs to go without discrimination. That's why we got net neutrality on the books. The FCC repealed that, saying that no, the internet is an information service only, meaning it is more susceptible to interference by the FCC. That's what Title I does. So now, for the first time, at least in recent memory, they're actually making something via phone communication. Your text message comes from your phone. They're making that a Title I service. Do you see how significant that is? They're saying that your personal communications should not be treated like flowing water, as they have been in all of our lives. The telephone, and as long as it's been around, at least in the present context as we know it, and even before then, back to the days of the cord phones and pre-cell phones, phone calls were treated like flowing water. Your personal communications were treated like flowing water. That has changed now. And there are implications to privacy, and there are implications from our ability to communicate phone to phone. This is historically damaging, and it's very ironic. This is coming from the right. I thought the right was all about your civil liberties and your privacy. I guess not when there's a buck to be made, as this FCC has shown us time and time again. And they certainly couldn't give a hoot about your digital rights. So now your text messages are not considered a free flow of information. That's essentially what this means. Wireless providers will have the power to block and censor text messages and widen the digital divide. The decision applies to standard texting, the text messaging service that comes with your cell phone plan. The move follows a long list of deregulatory decisions by the FCC under President Trump, who installed a Republican majority on the commission after taking office. The FCC also reclassified the Internet as an information service, as we just mentioned, in order to ditch popular net neutrality rules. Jessica Rosenworcel, the lone-sitting Democrat at the FCC, noted in her dissenting statement that the vote to classify text messaging comes on the one-year anniversary of the net neutrality decision, and she is not celebrating. So you no longer have free flow of your text messages. They're coming after your text messages. They can interfere with your texting. Some bureaucrat at the FCC can determine whether to block or throttle your text messages. Some cell phone provider, your AT&T, your Comcast. That's what this does. Your texts aren't safe anymore. I mean, they never were, but now it's even worse. Like, this is historic. This is a historic breach of right to information, of right to communication, of privacy. And this is not a sexy topic. I get it. This isn't an easy topic. Municipal broadband's not sexy. Net neutrality's not sexy. Title I and Title II classifications, they're not sexy, but they have huge consequences. Huge consequences. And if we don't sound the alarm now, it's going to be too late. This FCC has already done disastrous things. Your text messages are no longer a free flow of information. They're no longer private at all. And AT&T and Comcast can dictate what and how you receive texts. USA. Got a little music news for you coming up next. Here, Jack White's Raconteurs return with the first new songs in 10 years. Jack White's long-dormant band, the Raconteurs, have returned with their first new music in 10 years, sharing two songs, Sunday Driver and Now That You're Gone. Sunday Driver boasts a rock-steady rumble of thumping drums and crunching guitars, though the song also veers into more surreal and serene spaces. Well, cool. Check out the new Raconteur stuff. For anyone that's a fan of their music, you can go over to rollingstone.com. We can't listen to it because of copyright issues. But check out the new Raconteurs if you're into that sort of thing. You know, I've performed for Jack White before, and he was a good audience member. I've only ever said hello to the guy, but I did get to perform for him once. Twice, actually, technically, because I was on 2 shows that he watched. So that was neat. And I really like what he does with Third Man. I like what he does with vinyl and the Third Man exclusives. I enjoy the White Stripes music a little bit. I'm not as big of a fan as a lot of other people are. And when I saw the Raconteurs, I wasn't crazy into it, to be totally honest. I don't want to disparage anybody, you know, and I respect Jack White a lot. I'm not trying to imply that I don't. But Raconteurs, like, I'm not huge on their music as much. I prefer White Stripes. And I'm not a huge White Stripes fan either. Like, I like them, but I'm not as big of a fan as many. But when the Raconteurs came on, their set just became like the Jack White show real quick when I saw them. And this was a long time ago. This was back in 2004. But I saw the Raconteurs, and I was like, well, this will kind of be cool. And it really wasn't about the band much at all. It was like literally the Jack White show. Like, it just became Jack White worship real quick, and it was just not crazy exciting to watch. for me. Like, I was just kind of like, okay. So they played some good songs. It wasn't like a not enjoyable set, but it was kind of like, I was a little disappointed. But check out their new stuff if you're into that sort of thing. All right. And onward to this. Speaking of your text messages being information services now, well, here's another situation where your messages weren't safe. I didn't want to do 2 holy shit, your information's totally not safe stories in a row. I could have went that route, but I try to do a little buffer. You guys send stuff all across the board, right? You guys send me stuff that is incredibly heavy. Some of it's light, some of it's music related, some of it's just goofy. We get a little bit of everything. The glitter bomb thing was a goofy one. We opened with it. Then we had a serious thing, and you get the idea. But I didn't want to do 2 holy shit, your information's not safe stories in a row. I wanted to kind of buffer it with something a little lighter. So I was like, well, we'll take a break, talk about the raconteurs for a bit. But here's something. Facebook let Netflix, Spotify, and other companies read your private messages. Between 2010 and today, Facebook shared users' private data, including private messages and contact info, with more than 150 companies. As the media continues to uncover more and more information about ongoing privacy issues regarding Facebook, both its intentional data sharing and unintentional leaks, the New York Times has published a new bombshell report. Facebook has spent years giving major corporations, including the Times itself, invasive access to users' content and contact information, much more than it had previously disclosed. As detailed in documents obtained by the Times, Facebook gave companies like Netflix and Spotify access to its users' private Facebook messages, in addition to an extensive range of other personal data. The social network, all right, so here's from the article. Facebook allowed Microsoft Bing's search engine to use the names of virtually all Facebook users' friends without consent, the records show, and gave Netflix and Spotify the ability to read Facebook users' private messages. The social network permitted Amazon to obtain users' names and contact information through their friends, and it let Yahoo view streams of their friends' posts as recently as this summer, despite the public statements that it had stopped that type of sharing years earlier. And Tim shared something saying that now people are really calling for Mark Zuckerberg to step down. Which, well, I think that'd be nice. I don't think it would change much at the company. I'm sure that just another plutocrat would take over. That shared his vision, whatever that is. Wait, we know what that is. It's to sell your information and make a bunch of money off of it. I don't want to be on Facebook anymore. I have to for business-related reasons. Facebook is a very helpful tool when it comes to booking my tours, when it comes to networking. And, I kind of have to have a comedian page because, if you don't, it's just so much harder for people to find you. And you can't, if you have an artist page or whatever, a business page, I guess technically the wide umbrella would be business page, you can't delete your personal. At least I'm pretty sure you can't. I've tried. I wanted to just have my comedy page and delete my personal account, and I couldn't do it because it would just delete that other page too. So you have to have both. And my personal Facebook at this point, I just use for networking purposes. So, I don't know what information. The only information that's valuable, well, I guess it is valuable, is that Facebook would be able to tell Netflix and Spotify where I'm going to be touring next. Because I email a lot of promoters and producers and comics that way to book shows for the Progressive Comedy Tour. And that's about, and I encourage you to just use Facebook for the bare bones too. Don't send any messages that you wouldn't be okay with someone else seeing, because Facebook's giving that stuff away. And it's worse than we thought. I knew they were doing that stuff. We all knew they were doing that stuff. That stuff has been circulating around for a long time. Did you know it went into your private messages? I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that. But they got your private... What kind of private messages were they looking to share? I mean, there's some people, I know some people, they got rid of their phone and just use Facebook Messenger. Which means basically all of their communications could have been sold to somebody. Netflix might have all of their private communications. Facebook. And, you know, people talk about Facebook going away. Facebook is still the big behemoth in the room. They're still the big behemoth. They're treated as a news feed for a lot of people. Even though the younger generation is turning away from it, Facebook is still, when you look at a lot of the, social media influencer numbers, Facebook's still the big elephant in the room. Big time. So I don't know when, I feel like MySpace kind of ran its course by now. I don't know when or if Facebook's going to, especially since Facebook gobbles up the smaller guys. So I guess we'll see. But they're selling your messages. Boom! You want the year's scariest statistic as we look back on 2018, the year of our Lord 2018? Well, guess what? 90.5% of plastic not recycled. The world's burgeoning plastic waste crisis has won the attention of Britain's Royal Statistical Society, which chose 90.5%, the proportion of plastic waste that has never been recycled, as its international statistic of the year. The society, which chooses a winner from nominations made by the public, picked the statistic generated in a UN report based on the work of U.S. academics Roland Geyer, Jenna R. Jambak, and Kara Lavender Law. Public awareness of the problem has been growing, particularly after filmmaker David Attenborough's documentary Blue Planet 2 showed sea turtles shrouded in plastic, among other horrors. Geyer says he was honored by the accolade and hopes it will draw attention to the problem of plastic pollution that impacts nearly every community and ecosystem globally. You know what's better than drawing attention? Action. Action's better. Action's way better. Action's better than raising awareness. Raising awareness is the left's thoughts and prayers. And when I say the left, I mean the corporate left. That's the corporate left's thoughts and prayers, raising awareness. We're just looking to raise awareness. Really, that's all you're looking to do? So you're just going to depress people. That's what you're looking to. We're looking to raise awareness. And I'm not going to go too far down that rabbit hole because there's a brilliant bit about raising awareness by the comedian Doug Stanhope. Look up Stanhope's bit on raising awareness. Really funny bit, by the way. And also informative. So, 90.5%. I didn't think it'd be that high. But now I'm aware. And you know what, guys? I gotta say this. And I know it's like we do what we can and we can only do so much as individuals. Metal straws are awesome. Metal straws freaking rule. There is this shop in Long Beach, California. Not crazy close to where I live, but every now and again, me and my fiance like to take a day excursion to Long Beach. We'll go swimming in the harbor, or like I don't know if it's technically a harbor, but there's like a kind of sound water area. It's a nice little swimming space, and there's this place that we really like their lobster rolls. So we'll get a lobster roll. We'll walk around the LBC, drama free, the way Snoop Dogg taught us. And we'll go swimming, we'll get some lobster rolls. And there's this sustainability shop that she likes a lot. I like it too. And we get our metal straws there. And, we don't buy them regularly because they're metal straws. They last. But they are great. Your beverage tastes so much better. Like, because it's cold. Like it makes it nice and cool. And it's just so refreshing to drink out of a metal straw. So if you like straws and you're like, I make smoothies at home, that's something I do. Or if, every great now and again I'll have a soda. It's not very common. I'm not a big soda guy at all. But every great now and again I like a root beer. Root beer is my soda of choice. I like IBC. If I got to give an accolade to a brand. Or sometimes I'll have a ginger ale if my stomach's upset. Or I'll have a ginger ale with some whiskey in it. making it an entirely different thing altogether. But anyway, I like to have soda with a straw if I'm going to have soda, which isn't often, but still. And it's so much better through a metal straw. Smoothie, so much better through a metal straw. Any beverage, you get the idea. Metal straws, frickin' rule. I recommend them. Get them. Hey, if you need to get a gift for somebody, you're not sure what to give them, get them a metal straw. Why doesn't a metal straw company sponsor me? Is the real question. 90.5% of plastics, not recycled. And, it's like we do what we can as individuals. I always use the reusable bags when I get my groceries. When I go to the farmer's market, I do the reusable stuff. I use metal straws. I recycle the best I can. Me and my fiance started composting. Don't pat me on the back for that. The pat on the back goes to her. It was her thing. She announced it. The Unitarian Church down the road from us, they do composting. So she does it with them. We don't belong to any church. It's not our thing. But Unitarian's a little different than most churches as far as what you associate with the church. They're a lot more free thinking typically. I was at a Unitarian church once. There was just like a speaking event I wanted to go to, and it happened to be there. And I was meeting some members of the congregation, and over half of them were saying that they were atheists. And I was like, "Why do you come?" Okay. There is a church for like non-believers. It's called Sunday Assembly. So I was confused. But anyway, I guess they said they go in waves where it's like, I believe and then I don't. And then I'm like, hey, do you? My personal beliefs have certainly evolved over the years. And that's something else we should talk about because it is the holiday season. The concept of belief. How did we get there? We started talking about plastic. Now, all right. Yeah, we really came full circle big time here. So 90.5%, that's the statistic that they really want to throw out there. According to Britain's Royal Statistical Society. I wonder what the lamest statistic of the year was. What did they designate like the weakest one where they're like, this statistic, no one gives a shit. Like, do they get a last place? What would that statistic be? Statistic. Half of all... I don't know. What's like a dumb one that no one cares about? Statistic. Only 2% of people buy plain t-shirts. Okay. What's the losing statistic? That's what I want to know. All right. Guys, here's something that will hopefully leave us with something uplifting. Boom! French police threaten to protest against Macron's government as yellow vest demonstrators are joined by the blue vest. Police forces urged by union bosses to protest against President Macron's cut. The unions have warned of a black day for the police in a blue vest protest. The French government has sought to soothe police forces, demanding improved working conditions by proposing a €300 bonus to officers deployed to the violent protests. President Emmanuel Macron committed to the idea of protest duty pay earlier this month. The government's offer came a day or two after police unions announced work slowdowns to protest staffing and other budget issues. And once again, the yellow vest protests are not what a lot of the corporate media is saying they are. It's not only about a gas tax. It's about a lot of things. It's about tax cuts for the rich. It's about neoliberal policies. It's about workers' rights. Yes, it is against a gas tax, but it's against that gas tax because it's already so high. The taxation is a handout to the oil and gas companies, and they don't have investments in sustainable energy to match it. That's what people are protesting. It's really the have-nots standing up. That's what the protest really is. But the corporate media is trying to trivialize it and make it out like it's not that. Why are they trying to do that? Because that's what the media does to social movements. Todd Gitlin is the media theorist that laid out the anatomy, the cycle of how social movements are treated by the corporate media. And it has been accurate from the 1960s until the present day. First they trivialize it, then they marginalize it, then they smear it, then they try to ignore it. That's what they do. First they trivialize it, oh, it's nothing. Then they marginalize it, oh, it's just these wackos. Then they smear it. They'll just straight up make up lies and propaganda. Somebody threw a chair. Everybody's violent. And then they'll try to ignore it. That's what the media does. That's what they're doing to the Yellow Vest protests. They're trying to paint it with a broad brush. Don't be fooled. They have done the same thing to every social movement that has gone on in all of our lifetimes. And they're doing the same thing now. And the police are going to get some relief here. Why? Because they threatened to protest. Because they did protest. They slowed down in response to it. A lot of people around the world are being really inspired by what's going on in France right now, and that's a great thing. Extinction Rebellion is growing. The first day is coming to New York, January 26th. We covered that on this show yesterday via David. I saw a guy in a yellow vest yesterday, walking down the street in a yellow vest, and I said, hell yeah, man, time for a revolution. We're taking this country back. We're fighting. Solidarity. And he said, please, sir, I just want to deliver the mail. I don't know who you are, what you're talking about. Please, just leave me alone. Honey, I encountered this angry man today yelling about revolution or something. I couldn't tell if he was angry or inspired. But I don't want to wear this yellow vest anymore. I don't know what to do. I don't want to wear this yellow vest. Hump day, am I right? Let me see what you guys are saying. And then we'll do a little dismounting. Oh, wow, the thing just went. Anthony, I just was reading Facebook gave permission to Netflix and Spotify to read our messages. Yep, nice to know those aren't private either. Totally, yeah. Celeste, thank you for the super chat contribution. And Celeste, thank you for the compliment on my shirt. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Let's see what you guys are saying. Mr. Gone gives a shout out to Barks as far as root beer goes. I feel you. I'm just more of an IBC guy. Goldilocks says, we're not ever going to revolt in this country. We're all too afraid. I hope that's wrong, but I hear you where you're coming from. I totally do. But Ron, I have so many apps on my phone and cable TV shows to watch, I can't protest, A1 and A2 says. Omar, the corporate media mistreated Bernie, never forget. They mistreat all marginalized candidates. They mistreated Dennis Kucinich. They mistreat Ron Paul. They mistreat Bernie Sanders. They mistreat Tulsi Gabbard. They mistreat Nina Turner. They mistreat... List goes on and on. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Samuel, thoughts on Richard Ojeda running against Bernie and Warren? Ojeda, I'm still kind of learning about. I've heard stuff all across the board about that guy. And I've seen things all across the board about that guy. I know some do consider him a progressive. So I'm not thrilled about splitting the progressive vote a bunch of ways so then the superdelegates can come back in. I'm not thrilled about that happening. I would really like for there to be one strong progressive ticket. Who do I want to see on that ticket? I want to see Tulsi Gabbard as president, Bernie Sanders as vice president. Joseph has a clarification. Clarification on the second story. So, Theresa May was speaking when the incident occurred. Cameras caught... Oh, that's what it... Okay. So, that's why I was like, why is it not clear? So, the PMA was speaking when the incident occurred. Cameras caught Corbyn murmuring disapprovingly, not speaking into the mic. The media hyped it and said it looked like he said stupid woman. So that's why people weren't sure. Okay, thank you, Joseph. And Joseph, please add this to the end of that clip if you don't mind, if it's not a problem. Joseph's my editor and content supervisor. Joseph does it. And he can't even drink legally in a bar yet. Joseph frickin' rules. Follow him on Twitter, @JosephCicada. He used to have this cryptic Twitter name, but then he switched it up to his name. That's the way to go. So, yeah. All right. Thank you for that clarification, Joseph. Statutory, let's hope the yellow vests are just the beginning. Ooh, Celeste, Pennsylvania Dutch birch beer. That sounds freaking delicious. I've never had it. I should have because I grew up in Pennsylvania, but I haven't. Next time I'm in Pennsylvania, you got to show me where to get some of that. I'll be in Philly in June. So let me know. That sounds delicious. Guys, a couple things here before we dismount. Romplacone.com for all tour dates. We just announced some dates. Lafayette, Louisiana. Tickets available now. We'll be there March 10th. March 12th, Pensacola, Florida. March 13th, New Orleans, Louisiana. Might have a few more dates on that run too. Stay tuned. April, tickets for San Antonio just went on sale. We'll be in Texas in April. San Antonio tickets went on sale. Austin tickets will be available soon. And, of course, Florida. We're coming to Florida in January. Get your tickets now. Romplacone.com for tickets. Get your tickets now. And LA, folks, I'm doing a show at Corbyn Bowl with Graham Elwood on December 22nd. Come hang out. And the last Politics Night at the Dojo of the year is December 26th. And that is that's at the Dojo at Sycamore Tavern in Hollywood. Email me if you want to get on the guest list for that show. And if you can support the show on the sustainability end, please do become a patron. Patreon.com/romplacone for a give what you can level. You get all kinds of exclusive content, including Lucy's dialogue. She wrote a dialogue about Christmas trees. Aren't you curious what she had to say? Right? Patreon.com/romplacone. Give what you can level. It helps increase Joe's salary. That's totally true, actually. That's 100% true. Guys, you are awesome. Thank you very much for an amazing hump day. Happy Wednesday. Happy holidays. Although we're not done yet. We'll be back tomorrow. We will be back tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time. I will see you then for Get Your News On with Ron, the world's first viewer-curated streaming news show. Till then, stay safe.